After being accused of violating international laws on genocide, the International Court of Justice is ordering Israel to take measures to prevent deaths and damage in Gaza, but stop short of calling for a ceasefire.
The court further considers that Israel must take immediate and effective measures to enable the provision of urgently needed basic services and humanitarian assistance to address the adverse conditions of life faced by Palestinians in the Gaza Strip.
South Africa filed a case asking the court to order Israel to halt its current military offensive and accuse the country of committing genocide. Today's decision to not toss the case is an interim one. It could take years for the full trial to play out. Israel has rejected the accusation of genocide and had asked the court to dismiss the charges. With more on the significance of this ruling, we're joined now by Jack Cunningham with the University of Toronto. The court stopped short, Jack, of ordering that full ceasefire here. I wonder what your takeaway is from what we did hear from the court today.
Well, I don't know what the internal dynamics of the court are, but normally with these multi-judge panels, there is some backroom negotiation to try to achieve a verdict that everyone can agree on, because they seek unanimity where possible. But the fact that they did not argue for a ceasefire is significant. If they had done so, Israel would have basically told the ICJ to take a hike and would have gone ahead with what it plans to do anyway. But the interim requirement that Israel report back to the ICJ on its conduct of the war means that from now on, Israel is going to have to conduct the war with the ICJ looking over its shoulder. Now, some would argue that merely means that Israel is accountable, but it's pretty difficult to wage a war with somebody second-guessing you, especially when it's a tribunal that has already accepted a deeply problematic charge.
Could there be any repercussions that Israel could be facing here if they don't follow through with what the court said today?
Well, the court has no power to enforce its findings. I mean, a couple of years ago, after Russia invaded Ukraine, Ukraine filed a charge with the court. The court issued a preliminary injunction, and Russia simply ignored it for 2 years. So that shows how these things work. And since Israel is fighting an existential threat, it's not going to pay much heed to the ICJ. What this could do, however, is embolden those states that are critical of Israel to adopt more hostile stances. And it could encourage some who are sitting on the fence to move into a more critical position. So in that sense, it could increase the international pressure on Israel, pressure that I think Israel will resist.
Now, you touched on this a little bit already, but I wonder if you could flesh it out a little bit. What you've been picking up from reaction from other governments to this ruling?
Well, the Canadian government in particular has been all over the map on it. I mean, it said it respects the ICJ profoundly, but disagrees with the premise of the South African charge. I don't know where it will finally come down. There are some states that are simply going to reject the finding. I think the United States and probably the United Kingdom will do so, perhaps Germany. But others, those who are already critical of Israel, will claim vindication.
I'm wondering, too, just given someone in your field right now, a lot of this seems to be going down just so that it could be marked in kind of the chapters of history. How do you think it will be recognized when we look back at this time, these decisions coming out from the court?
I think it'll be regarded as a rather dark moment in the court's history. I mean, the very term genocide was coined in response to the Holocaust. Winston Churchill said of the Holocaust, we have a crime without a name. And in response, Raphael Lemkin, a Polish emigre Jewish jurist, coined the term genocide. Israel was founded in response to the Holocaust. And the fact that a charge of genocide against a state that was founded to give refuge to the Jewish people has gone ahead and been regarded as at least sufficiently plausible for the quasi-judicial process to proceed does, I think, largely discredit the ICJ, and it will not look good in a few decades' time.
This case, of course, brought forward by South Africa. Today's decision didn't deal with South Africa's main allegation on whether Israel is committing genocide. The court, though, says it won't be tossing the case. So what can we expect next?
We can expect years of deliberations, discussion, competing briefs, submission of various sorts of documentary evidence. I mean, as I said apropos of the Ukraine case, this has gone on for several years. It routinely takes the ICJ years to reach a final determination. So this case is not put to rest by any means. It's going to drag on.
I appreciate your analysis and your perspective on this. Jack Cunningham, a lecturer and program director with the University of Toronto. Thanks so much for your time today.
Not at all. Pleasure to be with you.